Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Ambit Energy Business Overview. By the end of this webinar, ladies and gentlemen, I will show you how to generate a substantial amount of passive residual income on a part-time basis through energy deregulation. I will explain what all that means. I highly recommend to free yourselves from all distractions. Please turn off all your cell phones. Pay very close attention to this information. I do promise you, ladies and gentlemen, that for the right eyes and for the right ears, this will be a life-changing event. It has been for me and for many people that I know as well. I must warn you that you will see something that will be hard to believe. So I must tell you right now that everything that I will share with you, absolutely everything, is 100% verifiable. 100% verifiable. So I ask you, if after this presentation is over, if you like what you see, if it makes sense to you, if you see potential, I invite you to join us in changing your financial life and the lives of others as well. Make sure you stay till the very, very, very end. Let's get right into it. Now, let me tell you a little bit about myself and my background, how I got started with Ambit Energy. Prior to getting involved with Ambit Energy, which was about 3 years ago, I used to own a computer repair shop in Queens, New York, where I'm from, where I live. Was there for about 8 years, and everything was going okay. And in 2008, the economy started to get really, really bad. It had a very devastating effect on my business. Somehow I found myself in a very bad debt situation. I actually got myself into $100,000 debt with family members for various business mistakes that I've made. And I have 5 little kids at home. I have a mortgage. I have all the expenses in life. And at that point of my life, I wasn't bringing home any money, and it was one of the very, very low point of my life. I was introduced to this opportunity. I saw a sign one day that said, every time somebody turns on the lights, I get paid. Ask me how. I found that to be very intriguing, and I made the phone call. By nature, I'm a skeptical person. I've been introduced to so many other opportunities in the past, companies that have to deal with vitamins and nutritional products, potions, pills, lotions, energy drinks, all types of products. I never allowed myself to ever get involved with any of those opportunities. Was not interested, wasn't for me. So when I saw this brochure at this time in my life, I had no idea what this is all about. Electricity, gas, energy, what is this? I made the phone call, and when that person told me on the phone to go to a hotel presentation, I wanted to hang up on him immediately. But somehow he kept me on the line. I dragged myself to the JFK International Hotel. I saw what you guys are about to see right now. And by the end of that presentation, ladies and gentlemen, what I said to myself was, if there's any truth to any of this, this is absolutely amazing. And I actually got started immediately. And I had a major issue. I was extremely busy. I don't know how many people who are listening are busy people, but if you're a busy person, this is perfect, because you'll see in a moment why this opportunity is actually designed for people who are busy. So working this business 3 to 5 hours a week for the first 6 months, I actually started making more money than my struggling computer shop. And at that point, I decided to give up my computer store and only do Ambit Energy. This was 2.5 years ago. That's exactly what I did. Past 2.5 years, all I do is Ambit Energy. And ladies and gentlemen, I must tell you, this has been the most lucrative thing I've ever done in my life by far. I get to work from home now, have a lot more time to spend with my 5 wonderful kids and my wife. And most importantly, I get to help so many other people in this rough economic times make additional income. So that's my story, and it's scary to think that this is just the beginning. 3 years in a business, and already I've had massive success. I'm one of the top 50 income earners of Ambit Energy. I'm featured on the cover of Success from Home magazine and many other honors as well. Very, very exciting. So that's my story. So let's get right into this. This is about your goals and your dreams. That's why you're on this webinar. Maybe some of you might desire additional income, reduce or eliminate debt. I know that's a big one for many people. More time with your family, provide more for charity. You know, my all-time favorite is right there, financial freedom. Prior to Ambit Energy, I used to think financial freedom meant having millions of dollars. I quickly found out that that's not the case. Financial freedom is, if you add up all your expenses every month, what is that number? As a matter of fact, everyone who's listening to this call, I'm going to ask you right now, let's just take a quick moment. Approximately, if you add up all your expenses every month, how much money do you need to live comfortably? And for most people in society, it's anywhere from $5,000, $8,000, maybe $10,000 a month. If there was a way to generate $5,000 to $10,000 a month coming every single month, ladies and gentlemen, you would be financially free. And I am here to show you how that would be possible through energy deregulation. I'm going to spend a few minutes just talking about why Ambit Energy is the right company, what's so special about this company, what's so special about the owners of this company. I'm going to speak a few minutes talking about why this is an expanding industry, how much opportunity is out there. I'm going to spend a few moments just talking about why energy, electricity, and gas is truly the perfect product. And of course, we're going to talk about how we could all cash out from this opportunity. So, Ambit Energy, a vision focused on your success. This is the vision statement of Jerry Thompson Jr., who's our CEO and our co-founder, and is to become the finest and most respected retail energy provider in America. Finest and most respected are very powerful elements for Jerry Thompson Jr. because he himself is from a very prestigious family. This is him right here to your right, Jerry Thompson Jr. He is actually from the family that started and owned 7-Eleven for over 70 years. The most successful franchise in the history of America, probably history of the world. Jerry Thompson Jr. decided to open up an energy company in 2006. He was introduced to Chris Chambliss, who became our other co-founder, our chief marketing officer. And Chris Chambliss has an incredible background as well. About 25 years ago, when the government deregulated telecom and they broke up the AT&T monopoly, one of the companies that emerged from that breakup was a company called XL Communications. And Chris Chambliss here to your left was the senior vice president of that company. And that company went on to become the fastest growing company in the history of America at that time, hitting $1 billion in their 7th year in business, shattering Microsoft's record. More importantly, that company generated over 2,000 millionaires primarily because of a compensation plan that Chris Chambliss right here developed for that company. They both got together and they started Ambit Energy, and in a very short amount of time, we grew so fast that we've actually become the #1 fastest growing privately held company in America in 2010. In addition to that, this year, which is our 6th full year in business, we're actually on track to hit $1 billion. And in the history of American business, there's only been about 4 or 5 other companies that have ever done $1 billion in revenue in their 6th year alone. And Ambit Energy is going to be one of those companies. Direct Selling News ranks us as number 15th largest network marketing company in the world. Let me explain to you why unbelievable that is. All the other network marketing companies that are on that list around us, from 1 to 14 and around up to 20 and 30, they're global companies that are on average decades and decades old. We are in less than 9 states. We have less than 3% market share, and we're only 6 years old. It just doesn't even make sense how we're even on that list. Okay, let's move on here. And deregulation opens the window. Now, for the first time in history, ladies and gentlemen, energy monopolies are being broken up. And now people who pay their electricity and gas bills, they have a right to choose where they get their supply from. And the timing of this opportunity is absolutely perfect because energy deregulation, relatively speaking, just began. As a matter of fact, only about half the states in the United States of America are in some form of deregulation. And the entire country spends approximately $500 billion a year on electricity and gas. And in the next decade, that money will be exchanged to other companies like Ambit and into the pockets of individuals like you and I. But currently, Ambit Energy happens to be in a handful of states. We started off in Texas in 2006. 2007 came over to New York, a small part of Illinois. In 2010, we opened up into Pennsylvania, Maryland. Then 2011 was New Jersey, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and the state of California. If you add up our market share of the territories that we're in right now, we have $64.7 billion that's on the table. How many of you listening would like a piece of $64.7 billion? I'm sure that everyone's hand was raised, mentally at least. We have close to 50 million potential customers. And the next piece of information I'm going to share with you is absolutely incredible. Again, just to remind you, we've become the #1 fastest growing company in America. We're about to hit $1 billion. And yet, out of the handful of states we're in, we have way less than 3% of the market share. Way less than 3%. Talk about potential and opportunity. And by the way, that 3% is only because of Texas. We've been there the longest. We have more customers there than any other state. Without Texas, just the Northeast, Illinois, and California, we have way less than 1% of the market share. Now, how does this whole energy deregulation work? And by the way, if anyone is not familiar with what energy deregulation means, let me quickly explain that to you. The energy companies used to be a monopoly since day one. Recently, the government passed laws that broke up that monopoly, and competition began. And now people have a right to choose where they get their energy supply from. So traditionally, companies like Con Edison in New York, or Pacific Gas and Electric in California, or Nicor, or ComEd in Illinois, they were the ones that actually supplied you with the energy. They were the ones that delivered it to your home using the wires and the pipes, and they're the ones that build you, service you. They did everything from A to Z. But now people have a right to choose where their supply comes from. But regardless of which company people pick, ladies and gentlemen, it still gets delivered through the original pipes and wires that is owned by the incumbent original monopoly companies. So let's talk about energy savings and customer rewards. Now, a lot of people in my community that know me are very surprised and absolutely shocked that I do an opportunity like this. They say to me, Shimon, I came to you with so many other network marketing opportunities. Why did you shut me down and say no to me? What makes this different than anything out there? And I explain to them. I ask, how many people do you know that use electricity and gas? I ask you this question, ladies and gentlemen who are listening. The point is, guys, everyone you know and everyone you don't know has to have this product, this service. You can't live without it. You need it. You must pay for it. That's a great starting point. Number two, there's no cost to switch. It's absolutely free. When we're going around gathering customers, unlike most other opportunities, those customers don't have to spend any money with us, and nothing changes for the customer. Everything stays exactly the same. You get the same bill, you get the same service, the same meter person reads your meter. If you have a problem, you call the same exact company, you write your checks out to the same company. Everything stays the same except you pay less, and we'll get into that in just a moment, how much less you actually pay. In addition to that, this particular business opportunity, there are no inventories. I mean, I don't know how many of you who are listening and watching have your own business or ever had your own business, but this is a dream for any business owner. No inventories, no deliveries, no collections of any type. Basically, there's no product training either. Everyone knows how to use electricity and gas. So this is why this is the perfect product. Now, let's talk about the savings. The savings are incredibly impressive, and the savings vary from state to state. Just as an example, in California right now, it's about 10% off the gas. Right now, we started off as gas only in California. At some point in the future, we're going to electricity as well. We have 7.5 million gas customers available in California. For example, in Chicago, it's about anywhere from 20 to 25% savings, I believe. In New Jersey, 10 to 15% savings. The bottom line is, guys, we've never been more than the incumbent. Historically, we've always been cheaper. There's no contract of any type. There's no termination fee. Anyone who ever wants to go back to their monopoly company and pay more money, no problem. One phone call and you're back with them. Of course, we also have the highest retention rate in this industry, because who wants to pay more money for something they pay for anyway? So great savings, competitive rates, green E energy for those that are interested. Being environmentally conscious is very, very important, and for those people, we have energy that is 100% green E certified. Every customer, just for trying out the service, gets a 3-day, 2-night hotel stay, just as a way of saying thank you for trying out Ambit Energy. And every customer will get rewarded for using their energy. Every kilowatt that they use, they get a point, and every therm of gas, they get 10 points. And with these points, ladies and gentlemen, you could redeem them for airline tickets, hotel stays, vacation packages, cruises, all sorts of really, really cool things for something that you use anyway. This is some incredible value. We're not going to people that we know, love, and trust, and we're not pushing vitamins. Not going to my uncle who never took a vitamin in his life. So you could do me a favor and buy some vitamins when my uncle's on a fixed income. but I actually have no problem going to my uncle who's on a fixed income and say, Uncle, I could save you some money on your energy bill. Think about that for a moment. That's very, very powerful. In addition to that, every customer is enrolled into a referral program, and they get their very own website that they can refer other customers to. And if any customer refers this world-class service to just 5 other customers, then that customer will not need to wait a year or 2 years to accumulate those points. They will get that free vacation or free airline ticket off the bat just for simply referring this service to 5 other customers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the next thing I'm going to share with you is truly, truly incredible. If you're standing for whatever reason, I ask you to sit down because you will fall over because it's unbelievable. If that customer who just referred 5 customers goes out and refers 10 more customers, that's a total of 15 customers, then that customer who just referred 15 customers will never have to pay for their energy supply again. Free energy month after month after month after year after year. Let me explain that to you. I could almost see all your jaws just wide open right now. So let me explain that to you in more detail so you have a better understanding of that. So let's say, for example, Bob is a customer. We all know that it was free for Bob to be a customer. Bob is saving money every month. He got the 3-day, 2-night hotel stay, and he's getting his points. Bob goes out and refers 15 other customers. Every month when those 15 customers, when they pay their bill, Ambit Energy will take the average of those 15 customers and take that average off Bob's bill. So if the average is equal or higher to Bob's bill, Bob does not pay for his supply portion of his bill. And if the average is less than what Bob's bill is, Bob simply pays the difference. And that's not just one time, ladies and gentlemen. That is month after month after month after month. And I want to be very, very clear. Every customer is eligible to get free energy, regardless if they decide to do the business or not. Every customer is eligible to get the free energy. Okay, now let's talk about how you have the power in your hands, our opportunity. Now, a lot of people ask, they ask me, Shimon, what is Ambit Energy's secret? How in the world do they gather more customers than any other energy company? How in the world did they become the #1 fastest growing company in America? And how are they doing $1 billion in just their 6th year in business? What is their secret? Ladies and gentlemen, their secret is the fact that Ambit does not advertise. No advertisements. No newspaper ads, no television ads, no billboards. Nobody will knock on your door and say, we're from Ambit Energy, we'd like to switch your service. You will not get anything in the mail from Ambit to switch your service. We don't have any salespeople. We don't have cold callers. We don't do any of that like other companies do. So you're like, how do we get our customers? Well, our secret weapon is word of mouth advertising, personal relationship marketing, where you take an average person here who gathers a handful of customers. I mean, how many people do you guys know that use electricity and or natural gas? Think about that. And of course, those customers have to pay their bill, and the money goes to Ambit. And Ambit shares the profits back with you. And how often does that happen? Well, how often do people pay their bills? Month after month after month. Because, guys, if you think about it, we make recommendations every day. We just don't get paid for it. How many of you who are listening ever referred a movie to anyone? Probably everybody. Did you ever get paid from doing that? Did the director of that movie ever send you a check? Now, before I get to the next slide, I just want to remind everyone, I'm not sure exactly what you were told when you were asked to take a look at this business opportunity, but I just want to be crystal clear here. This is a business opportunity. This is not a job. This is an opportunity to start your own franchise with an incredible company with some fabulous leaders, proven leaders. And like any other business opportunity in America, there's always an investment involved. Whether you go to college, whether you want to open up a lemonade stand, or whether you want to open McDonald's, there's always an investment involved. And Ambit is no different, except it is extremely different. Let me explain. The investment to start your very own Ambit Energy franchise happens to be $429. That is a one-time fee with no annual contract. Let me explain exactly what that means. That means that once you're in the business, once you're in the franchise, once you buy into the franchise, you're in for life. That 429 not only includes the 9 states we're in right now, not only includes the 45 million potential customers we have access to, but more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, that 429 includes all future states and countries that we're going to be opening into the future. And your only out-of-pocket monthly expense is $24.95 a month. This is for a suite of personalized websites that actually run your business for you, that show this entire presentation in professional video format, that give you websites to track your business, what's going on. Now, keep in mind that anytime in the future, you could turn off these websites and you still will get paid for everything that you have done. But I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, when you're making money every month, whether it's hundreds of dollars a month, thousands of dollars a month, or tens of thousands of dollars a month, $24.95 as a business expense will not be an issue. I give you my word on that. Let me really just put this in perspective very, very quickly. My computer business that I started about 8-9 years ago, there was also an investment involved. It was $50,000. And what is the very first financial goal of any business owner? What is the first thing they want to do before anything else? And of course, the answer to that question is they want to first break even, because you have to first break even before you can make a profit. And unfortunately, in this economy, so many stores go out of business before they even break even, and they lose so much money. But I was fortunate enough in my computer shop, it took me about a year to break even. My monthly expenses being there for about 8-9 years were well over $5,000 a month. And there was always a limit how much money I can make. Why am I telling you this? I like you to compare my computer business with my Ambit Energy business. On November 3rd of 2009, I looked at Ambit Energy and I got started. Ladies and gentlemen, before that day was over, before midnight, I made back my entire investment of $429. I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. To this day, my only mandatory business expense, which is not even mandatory, is $24.95 a month. And ladies and gentlemen, there's no limit how much money I can make with this opportunity, just to really put this in perspective. Now, let's move on here. One last thing about this. If there's anyone who's listening to this or watching this that has an issue with investing any amount of money to start your own business, it is unfortunately not a very productive way of thinking. So change that a little bit. Just be a little bit open-minded here, and take all the negative thoughts out, if you have any, concerning this 429, because I will show you in a moment how, in a relatively speaking short amount of time, this 429 will change your life forever. Let's move on here. Now, it's a flexible schedule. This is actually designed for people who are very, very busy. And it's funny because most people that start this business, they actually do it because they're so busy. They actually want to buy back their time. So if you can commit at least 45 minutes to an hour a week to work on your fortune while you're working on your living during the day, work on your fortune part-time while you're working on your living full-time. Okay, that's what Jim Rome always said. Okay, you can do this business. So it's flexible schedule. There are people like myself and many other leaders as well that are willing to do the majority of all the work for you, because we have an incredible support system in this business. Incredible tax benefits. You don't get a 1090. You don't get a W-2. You actually get a 1099, and there are many tax benefits that are associated with that. And there's unlimited income potential. And the reason, ladies and gentlemen, this is an unlimited income potential is because no matter how bad the economy is, no matter how much families are struggling financially, they will cut out many things out of their budget. But I promise you, they will not call the energy company and say, "Hey, man, I'm struggling financially. Please turn off my service." It just will not happen. And as long as people are paying their bills, we get paid month after month after month. Now, at this point, you probably have two questions. And these are the two questions that anyone asks before anything they do in life. And question number one is, what's in it for me? Well, it's a great question. I mean, you got to get something out of this. Well, the answer to this question, ladies and gentlemen, is whatever your goals and dreams are. Ambit Energy is just a vehicle to get you where you want to be much faster and much easier than anything else out there. Unfortunately, we live in a society where so many people are retiring broke, working 40 years, retiring broke, and nothing to show for it. And this is a plan B that very quickly turns into a plan A for many, many people. So what's in it for you is whatever your goals and dreams are. The other question is, can you do this? Well, what is it exactly that we do? Now I'll share with you, ladies and gentlemen, how profoundly simple this business is. I don't want to say it's easy. I don't believe in easy money. If anyone ever tells you there's easy money, please run the other direction. But this is extremely simple and extremely doable. Now, what is it that we do? There's two things that we do, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the first thing. We simply gather a handful of loyal customers, people that we know, love, and trust. You only need 5 customers in the beginning, and ultimately you need 20. That's it. This business is designed for anyone to do, regardless of their background, regardless of their sales experience, business experience, because everyone knows people that want to save money on their electricity and or gas bills. So gather a handful of people. 20 is what you need, ultimately. And by getting your 20, not only are you hitting the requirements with Ambit Energy, of course you're also getting free energy for yourself. And the way you're going to become multimillionaires, if that's what you want to become, is by simply helping others do the same. This is it, guys. We do 2 simple things. We gather a handful of customers, and we help others do the same. We gather a handful of customers, and we help others do the same. That's it. This is how we've gathered over 1 million customers with Ambit Energy. All right, now let's get to the payments. How do we get paid? Ambit Energy actually pays us, ladies and gentlemen, in 4 completely separate ways. The first way they pay us is for simply gathering those customers that you have to gather anyway. And by the way, these customers are going to be people that you know, love, and trust. You know, because why not? I mean, if you know a way to get free energy, aren't you going to go to the people that you know, love, and trust first? So anyway, Ambit Energy is going to give you credit before you even made a phone call, or before you even spoke to anyone, like you have 2 customers in your system. So you have off the bat in your system, it's as if you already have 2 customers before you even began the business. Then Ambit Energy says, go out and get 3 real customers. And who's going to be your very, very first customer? Yourself. Let's say a parent and a brother. For getting these 3 customers, you're getting your first $100 back from Ambit Energy. This must be accomplished within the first 28 days. I don't know why Ambit gives such a long time to put in 3 little customers. Please get this done within 28 minutes or 28 hours at most, not 28 days. You get a few more customers, you get your second $100, and just for continuously gathering those customers that you have to gather anyway, you're actually making back your $400. So you've gathered a few customers, you've made back your investment, you're getting your free energy every month, and if you never did anything else with Ambit Energy, you're already coming out on top in a huge way. This is an incredible worst-case scenario, assuming this is all you did and you never moved on with the business. But of course, we're not here just to have investment back and get free energy. Of course, we are here to become financially free. Now, the title that you get when you start the business is called Marketing Consultant. We're going to abbreviate that to MC. And as a marketing consultant, just a moment ago, I showed you by getting your first 3 customers, you got your first $100. Now, for the rest of your career, your job is to expose this opportunity with everyone that you know and everyone that you're ever going to meet. And the way you're going to expose this opportunity is by using our proven system. What's our proven system? Webinars like this is our proven system. DVDs that we give you, websites that we give you, 100 live hotel presentations a week that are made for you. This is how we present the opportunity to people. You never have to sit down with someone and explain to them how this works. You never have to stand in front of a room. You never have to give a webinar like I'm doing, because there are plenty of leaders more than happy to do that for you. So you need to use us, use the system to expose this opportunity to the people that you know. And keep in mind, if you don't expose this to them, I promise you, inevitably, somebody else will, because we are spreading like wildfire. So we're going to expose this opportunity to, let's say, Tom. Tom takes a look at this opportunity, and Tom says, sign me up. I want to be a consultant. I want to make money. What is the first thing Tom's going to do to get his very first check? Well, the same exact thing that you did. Get a few customers. Look what happens when Tom comes into the business as a consultant, and he gets his few customers. Watch this. He gets $100, and you get a matching $100. How great is that? Okay, you help Tom, and you're getting paid as well. Now we're going to expose this opportunity to a second person. And let's say her name is Maria. Maria takes a look at it. She watches a DVD. She's interested. We get all her questions answered. She gets started. She puts in a few customers. She gets 100, and you get a matching $100. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, you who's a marketing consultant, an MC, you have 2 MCs directly under you, Tom and Maria. Now, this is a business of duplication. This is a business that is designed for people at any intelligence level whatsoever. Guys, I've seen it with my own eyes. This is an opportunity. Doesn't matter what degrees you have or you don't have. Doesn't matter your past success or failures. If you could follow a cookie cutter business model, then you'll make money with this opportunity. And we're going to teach Tom and Maria what that cookie cutter business model is. And Tom is going to go out and get 2 consultants, and Maria is going to go out and get 2 consultants. There's a formula called 526 that gets us promoted to the next level. And what is 526? It's 5 customers right here, 2 personally sponsored consultants, and a team of 6. Full screen. All right. There we go. 526 in a little more detail. These are actually the building blocks of Ambit Energy. Again, 5 personal customers right there. 2 personal consultants, Tom and Maria in our example. And then Tom and Maria each get 2. When you do this 526, which is something you want to do as fast as humanly possible, because here's where the real fun begins, you become something called a regional consultant. We're going to abbreviate that to RC. As a regional consultant, now you continue using the system, using myself, using other leaders, using the DVD, the website, all the hotel presentations, using the system to share this opportunity with more people that you're going to meet in the future and people that you know. And now for everyone that comes into the business, and when they gather their handful of customers, they, of course, are getting their $100 each. But look what happens to you. Because you're a regional consultant, now you're getting $155. What used to be $100 for everyone you personally brought into the business when you were a marketing consultant, now for literally doing the same thing, you're getting $155 bonus for every new consultant you bring in who gets their handful of customers. Remember, the key for the money is not the recruiting consultants, it's making sure they gather their customers. Because the only thing that Ambit cares about is to gather customers. They're a company that needs customers. They do it through an army of consultants. But guys, here's where the fun begins. Here's the part where you make money while you're sleeping. When those consultants that you personally enrolled into the business as a regional consultant, when they go out and get other consultants, and those other consultants get other MCs who get other MCs to unlimited levels, ladies and gentlemen, you're getting $55 for every single new MC that signs up under another MC to unlimited levels of depth. $55 coming into you for every new MC under another MC to unlimited levels. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just remind you, we're only in 9 states with less than 3% market share, 41 more states to go, many more countries to go in the future. Thousands of people are signing up as consultants every single month, and that number is growing. If some of these people who are signing up anyway, if some of them don't sign up under you or someone on your team, I promise you they're signing up under someone else. So this 55 goes to unlimited levels for every new MC. What's going to happen here is that at some point, inevitably, you're going to get a total of 18 marketing consultants in your regional business. Not you personally have to get 18, a total of 18. And when that happens, you become a senior consultant, or SC. As a senior consultant, you continue using our system that we provide for you. We'll do all the work. You keep all the money. I don't know when was the last time someone said that to you, but that's what's going on here. As a senior consultant, you're getting a whopping $235 for every new MC that you sign up that gets their customers. Let me remind you, for doing the same thing when you just started was $100. Now for literally doing the same exact thing as a senior consultant, it's $235. And when those MCs that you personally signed up as a senior consultant, when they get other MCs, these people you don't even know who they are. These people from other states and other countries. But when they sign up and they bring other MCs to unlimited levels of depth in your senior code, you're getting $135 for every new MC that signs up under another MC in your senior code. And some of you might be wondering, hey, whatever happened to my regional business that I left behind? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that regional code continues to bring you those 55s to unlimited levels of depth. Now you have income coming in from 2 separate sources, 2 income streams, 2 separate businesses, 2 different entities completely are bringing you income for every new MC to unlimited levels. The next promotion is called Executive Consultant, and this is where I'm truly, truly blessed and grateful that I'm in this incredible ranking with this company For many people, this is the promised land. This is the place, if you're a very, very ambitious person, you want to get to executive consultant, this is where the big money begins, really big money. As an executive consultant, you're making $315 for personals, $215 to unlimited levels of depth. Now you have multiple streams of income. In addition to that, ladies and gentlemen, just for being an executive consultant, Ambit Energy will give you any car that you would like, up to $1,000 lease. Okay, you pick the car, whatever you like, $1,000 lease of your dream car. And of course, if you're not interested in something like that, you could of course take the cash. Just for being an executive, in addition to getting the enormous amount of money that you're making, Ambit Energy is also giving you an additional $1,000. And then the last promotion is national consultant. And these are where the mega millionaires are hanging out as a national consultant. $340 for personals, $240 to unlimited levels. Let me just remind everyone that this money comes in on a weekly basis. Every week, from Friday to Friday, Ambit Energy adds up all the new consultants that join your business. So just as an example, for example purposes, let's say this particular week until Friday midnight, let's say 58 new people join my executive team, 75 people join my senior team, and let's say 110 people join my regional team. That money gets multiplied accordingly, and they send me a check for that week. And ladies and gentlemen, do you know what happens next week? That's right. The same exact thing for all the new people that sign up next week. Because remember, thousands upon thousands are joining Ambit Energy every single month as we speak. It is absolutely going viral, viral, viral. It's absolutely amazing. So this is the second out of the 4 ways that we get paid with Ambit Energy. Now, the third way is something that's going to blow even this out of the water. Okay, so I really hope you guys are sitting down for this one. You see, all these consultants that are joining Ambit Energy to unlimited levels, isn't it true, ladies and gentlemen, that they all have to gather customers? They all have to gather customers. Of course they do. And those customers have to pay their bill every month. Of course they do. Well, we are going to get paid every month when those customers pay their bill. And to demonstrate how that works, let me give you an example. You see, Ambit Energy pays us all the way down to 7 generations. Absolutely incredible. 7 levels deep, Ambit Energy pays us. So just to prove a point of how the residual income works, let's say this is you, and all you ever did in your entire life and career is you personally got 3 consultants to sign up under you, 3 MCs. Now, let me just take this moment, just in case there's any confusion, just to clarify. There's obviously a massive difference between a customer and a consultant. Sometimes people get that confused. A customer just saves money on their bill. It's free to be a customer, nothing changes, and you save money and you could get free energy. That's a customer. A consultant, a marketing consultant, is someone like you and I, people that want to make money. Okay, so that being said, you got a very modest 3 consultants into the business. That's your level 1. 1 level below you, 3 consultants. Those 3 consultants, each one of them went out and got 3 consultants each. That's 9 consultants. 9 who get 3, 27 who get 3, 81, 243, 729. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just an example of everyone getting 3 consultants. In 7 levels deep, you have 3,279 consultants in your organization. And how many did you personally bring in? 3. Now, remember I told you you only need 20 customers in your entire life and career with Ambit Energy? Well, yes, I know what some of you are thinking. Shimon, 20 customers? I can do that. That's not that difficult. I mean, we're talking about something people can't live without, and they have to pay for it, and I can save them money. But let me tell you why in some areas that we're in, it can actually be a lot simpler than you really think it is. And by the way, if you live in a certain area, let's say in California, and you know people in New York and Chicago, you can actually make them your customers as well. I mean, you have access to all 45 million customers that we have access to. So anyway, so it's not really 20. It's actually less than 20. Let me tell you why it's a lot simpler. Out of the 20 that you need, Ambit gave you 2 for free when you started, if you guys remember that. So now you're down to 18. If you live in a house that has gas and electric, where in those areas that Ambit services gas and electric, that actually counts as 2 out of the 20. So let's say that's the case. Now you're down to 16 customers left. 16 divided by 2 is 8. So at best case scenario, again, at best case scenario, you only need 8 households that have gas and electric each to get your 20. Really, really not that difficult at all. Okay, anyway, you got your 20. Those 3 consultants that you personally signed up, they also got their 20. 3 times 20 is 60. Okay? Then everybody got their 20 customers, just for example purposes. Okay? I'll give you some other numbers in a moment as well. In this example, everyone goes out and does what they were supposed to do and gets their 20 customers. In 7 levels deep, ladies and gentlemen, you have a whopping 65,600 customers in your organization. Now, Ambit Energy is going to pay you every single month for every single customer. And do you know how much they're going to pay you? Well, it all depends how much electricity and gas they use. The more they use, the more you're going to get paid. But you know what? For this example purpose, let's look at the absolute minimum payout. A minimum payout is called a band 1. This is a minimum payout. In this example, ladies and gentlemen, above and beyond the weekly bonus money that comes every Friday, in this example, you're making $78,376 coming into you every single month. Month after month after month after month. On a service that nobody you know could live without. Yes, there's silence. It is truly amazing. But you know what? $78,000 a month for most people, for a lot of people, is simply not realistic. I mean, there are people that don't make that in a year. What is this talking about a month? So let's use some other examples just to try to get a little more down to earth here. Let's say all these 3,279 consultants, they don't put in 20 customers like they're supposed to. Let's say that each and every one of them is a lazy person. And instead of putting in 20 customers like they're supposed to, these lazy people end up putting 10 customers each. Those 3 put 10, and those 9 put 10, and everybody across the board put 10 customers each. Let's still leave it at a band 1, the minimum usage. What about $39,000 a month? Would that change anybody's life who's listening to this? $39,000 a month coming in every single month? You have to ask yourself, how much residual income do you guys get right now in your life? Most people in society, it's nothing. They don't even know what that means. I didn't know what that meant 3 years ago. But let me give you one more example. Let's try to get a little more down to earth here so we can wrap our heads around this. Let's say these 3,279 consultants, they weren't lazy. No. They were beyond lazy. They were the laziest people on planet Earth. And you probably think I'm going to say to you they put 5 customers each, right? No, worse than that. These super lazy people put 3 customers each. 3 customers each across the board. In 7 levels, that's 9,857 customers. We're still at a band 1 minimum payout, $11,758 a month, coming to you every 15th of every month. Guys, I have to tell you that in our house, the 15th of the month, when we get these residuals, has become a holiday. I mean, we're just celebrating. That's what this opportunity will do for you as well. Now, I don't have another slide to show you a different amount, but let's say that you're the type of person or that nothing goes right for you. You couldn't do the $78,000. You couldn't do the $39,000. You couldn't do the $11,000 a month. You can't even do $8,000, $5,000, $3,000. I mean, nothing works out for you whatsoever. You're the most unluckiest person on earth, for example. Let's just say. Let's say you end up with $1,800 a month. $1,800 coming to you every single month, month in, month out. I ask you this question. How many people do you know, if they had an additional $1,800 a month, it would change their life? Almost everybody. Isn't that the answer? So don't let these huge numbers intimidate anyone. It doesn't matter how much you make. Again, how much residual you're getting right now in your life. Think about that for a moment. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the 3rd way we get paid. And the 4th and final way we get paid, and you're probably thinking, what, there's more money here? There is. And this quarter right here that you're looking at is actually more powerful and more lucrative, with no exaggeration, than all the money I've shown you up to this point. And let me explain this to you. You see, when you become a regional consultant, Ambit Energy, above and beyond getting paid 7 levels of residual income, Ambit Energy is tacking on another quarter for every customer, for every month, to unlimited levels of depth. If you guys don't have trouble sleeping tonight, then you did not understand what I just said. It's as simple as that. And you know, I must mention to you, it's okay if you don't understand this, because whether you understand it or not, they pay you anyway. That's the best part about this. I've never met so many people that can make so much money they don't even know what they're doing. They don't really need to understand how this business works. They just need to know that it's real. Ambit does what they say they're going to do, and they save the customers money. You know, we have the highest rating with the Better Business Bureau as well. I forgot to mention that earlier on. Okay, so you get a 25 cents for every customer every month to unlimited levels. Guys, that means that 5 years from now, somebody in Canada is going to flip a switch, and a quarter will get deposited into your bank account. That's exactly what that means. Okay. As a senior consultant, you're getting 50 cents per customer per month to unlimited levels. As an executive consultant in that business, it's 75 cents per customer per month to unlimited levels. And as a national consultant, you're getting $1 per customer per month to unlimited levels. Ladies and gentlemen, there are people in this organization that have over 10,000 customers, 85,000 customers, 350,000 customers. I could almost feel some of you doing the math in your head of all these quarters. Our top income earner, Brian McClure, last month he made over $550,000 just last month in Ambit Energy. He's one of the top income earners. He's the number one income earner in Ambit Energy. He's one of the top income earners in the entire world of network marketing. Okay, and more than half of that money, more than half of that $500,000 last month was in these quarters that you're looking at. That's how powerful this compensation plan is. So, just to wrap things up here, and I've really had a blast presenting this to you. I just get so excited sharing this information with everyone. Well, why Ambit works, and notice it doesn't say if it works. It's not really a question. Whether it works or not is just basically up to you if you're going to do it or not. One guarantee I will give you, that if you don't do it, you will get nothing out of Ambit Energy. That's for sure. You won't get any checks from them. Well, we're a service. We're not a product. We're not just any service. We're a service that nobody you know could live without. Power of part-time. Again, this is very, very important. I know that many of you are very, very busy. And that's exactly the reason why you need this opportunity to free up your time. Why should someone tell you what you're worth and tell you how much money you're worth? Why should someone be on top of you, breathing down your back, punch in, punch out, hours, telling you what to do, when to work, how to work, who to do it with? This is an opportunity where you are becoming your own boss. Okay, guys, and there's some incredible freedom involved there. Power of part-time, lucrative compensation plan. Guys, I've never seen so much money being paid to so many people. Energy deregulation is going to be the largest transfer of wealth in the history of American business. $500 billion will be exchanging hands. It's going to happen with you. It's going to happen without you. Think about this. If it's going to happen anyway, regardless of whatever your opinion is, good or bad, think about the logic here. If it's going to happen anyway, why not get a piece of the action if it's going to happen anyway? And it's the perfect timing. In real estate, it's all about what? Location, location, location. In business, it's all about timing, timing, and timing. We're at the forefront of this massive transfer of wealth. You guys listening are the very, very beginning, especially the people out in California, especially the people out in the Northeast and Illinois. You are the very first people to get involved with this. More than 80% of the Northeast, Illinois haven't switched to anything at all yet. At all. They don't even know about this. They're afraid to do it. They don't even realize nothing changes. In California, it's like more than 99% haven't switched because you guys just opened up. That's what kind of timing we're looking at right here. So you are at the very beginning of this. You know, a lot of people say sometimes things like, which is not true, but let's just, for those people that say that, all the people at the top make all the money. Well, if that's true, you are the top right now. You are the very, very top. And it's a proven system. You know, it's fascinating to me how there's some people out there who are negative, and they say really dumb things. They say, hey, that stuff doesn't work. Oh, that stuff is a scam. Oh, this and that. I look at them like they belong on some other planet, and I say, buddy, this stuff works. Maybe you don't work. How are you going to tell me it doesn't work? Ambit sends me 5 checks every single month. I'm financially free because of Ambit Energy. What about you? Where are you holding? And they just shut up. Because you know why, guys? Here's the bottom line. You can't argue with results. We can't argue with results. And I just want to mention as well, there are so many people that are successful at Ambit that have tried other things in the past. Pills, lotions, potions, energy drinks, all sorts of products. Because this is a no-brainer opportunity. There are so many people who swore, like myself, they would never in their life do any network marketing opportunity. Ever. Not for me. No way, Jose. But they do Ambit Energy. because it just makes too much sense. So again, everything I've said to you, everything is 100% verifiable. Please get back to the person that invited you to take a look at this webinar. Okay? If you do nothing, nothing will change in your life. If you're going to keep doing what you've always done, you're going to keep getting what you always got. Okay? Ambit Energy is changing lives. It's energy deregulation. Jerry Thompson, our co-founder, is an incredible person. You know, I've had the pleasure of spending with the owners of the company. I've been on 4 vacations with them. I've won the 5-star trip with the company because of my performance, because I helped so many of you guys make so much money. I have 4 or 5-star trips with the owners of the company who are exceptional, humble human beings who are going to be here to help us out everything that we need. So with that, I'd like to again congratulate you. Get back with the person that invited you. Get your questions answered. And if you see potential, which there is, I hope you see it. I hope you're lucky enough to see it. If you see an opportunity, hop on board. Don't overanalyze things. I know there's people, you know, they're interested and they think themselves out of it. That's what they do. We live in a world of people who are indecisive. They just don't know how to make a decision. But don't let the 429 stop you. If someone has trouble with the 429, you know what that tells me? You can't afford not to do this opportunity. Don't ask how much does it cost to get into this business. Ask how much is it going to cost you not to do this opportunity. With that, God bless all of you, and God bless America. All the best.